So before the break, we stopped at preview, and it was kind of squeezed, so it took effort to unsqueeze it for me. So hopefully it is not the same for you, so you can open it, so you'll have preview. When you run preview, you don't have to keep this open. You can close this one, review will update. When you change this code, it will try to synchronize it, and if it's not synchronized, it will be button to synchronize. When you can have preview per any file, and in every file you can have several previews. For example, in the existing project, if you go to calculator inputs, you will see preview of this part. Doesn't have to be entire screen, it is what you like. You can have several previews per file. You can create another preview function. It will be somewhere either below, or you can organize it. So this is how to organize previews. By default, it's grid. You can make it list, so it is in the order, or gallery, I don't know what it is. Okay, you try it, you will see. So the same for outputs. You can see specific output for this one. When you change code, it will try to update it. Otherwise, it will be button to click to update. Right. There is no option. There is no option to drag and drop. It is only you type it or copy paste it, and this is how to see what is happening. Okay. This preview is to avoid restarting application. So, to see what is going on as you type. So going back here. So remember we talked about modifier. So let's try to modify it. So I add padding to this text and see what is happening. I add padding, and for example, I do it 24 and units. Dot DEP and underscore, I need to import it. So I press Alt Enter on Mac, on Windows, or Option Enter on Mac. Option Enter on Mac, and it imported DP. DP is extension function of integer. Remember we learned about extension functions. You can add methods to various things. In this case, it added method to integer to create something else, some other object. So this is unit, DP. What is DP? DP, it is density independent pixel. It means the same size on any device. So 24 DP on small screen will be the same distance, and on the large screen, it will be the same, literally the same distance. It is not depending on density. It is pixel on medium resolution screen. Okay. So distances on the screen we measure in DP to make it consistent, the same distance on different devices. So if we set button size is 100 DP, it will be the same button size on any device. Like literally, if you put ruler, it will be the same against ruler. If we set font size, it will be SP. SP, it is scalable pixel. So it really is SP, it is specifically for font sizes or anything related to fonts because of accessibility. Users want to scale font on the screen, so they change settings in the system, and every application scales SP. Okay. So DP, it is for distances, and SP, it is for font sizes. So I added padding, and you see this is in the preview, it added padding to it. So let's keep playing with it. I put background, color, purple for 800. You see this background is on top of text, but not in the padding at this moment. Okay. So let's try to change padding and background order. So I pick this, and I put it in front of here. What did we learn? Order matters. So when it was padding in background, I had padding in white. And now I have background and padding. And now padding in the same color as background. Okay? The way how you set modifications to modifier, order matters. It is outside to inside. So I set background to everything, and now padding is in the same color as background. If I flip it backwards, I will get padding in white and background changes afterwards. Okay. So the order of the stuff, modifications that you apply to modifier obviously matters, and it makes difference. Okay, so we need to be careful when we apply it. It's order, it's outside to inside. Okay? So this will start from outside, this is to inside. If I put something in between, this will be in between. Okay, now, so for example, if I have another padding here, it will be some white frame, then background, and another padding in the color of background. Right? So this is the logic of modifier, how it works. We can also use modifier to create kind of frames around it. I think it's called border. Let's check. So yes, it's called border. Border width, for example, 2dp. It's missing some information, right? 2dp, maybe I need to have a border color. A border color, oops. Black, maybe. Color black. Yeah, here it is. So I got background, then border, and padding after border. Okay. If I flip padding in between, I will have a border about around this part. Okay. Or if I put another padding here, padding 10 dp or 16 dp, padding 16 dp, border padding whatever there, 24 dp, and text. Okay, so play with it. Okay, so let's continue. So this is the logic of modifier. You can create lots of things. And please notice that only thing that I have, it is just text. And the rest, it is just modification to the text using modifier. So it is extremely flexible. All right, so let's continue. This is just a demo. You can have several things. And let's start doing calculation stuff. So I will probably stop running this thing, and let's add some business logic to it. So let's create domain package and put some business logic to calculator, since we will do calculation. So I create package into that, and let's do domain. Package, domain, enter. By the way, during break, it was a question how to set up commits. When you create Kotlin project and you select create Git Git project, it will create a Git repository right away. Yes?
Sorry, for the preview, how did you get into just that element?
I closed this thing, so this is why I don't have both.
Okay.
And in order to see it on this side, this is only text, this is text with the preview, and this is only preview. It's switched here on the top. Okay? Do you have it? So a text only, text preview, only preview. It is at the top. You can also have this thing, but this doesn't have to run when you just doing preview. Yes?
I don't know if I missed something, but I wrote down everything that you wrote after the modifier. So I wrote dot background, etc. And I wrote like purple 80 dot border.
Okay. Okay, let's wrap it up so you will see what I have. Because it's kind of scrolled. So background purple applies to, it is from outside to inside. And then I have a padding, then I have a border, I have another padding, and finally text. The same? I don't know. Find what's different. I have two paddings, here and here. 16, it is this, and 24, it is bigger one, this one. This is why order methods, you can repeat things. I can create another border if I want. So it will be two borders. Did you find? Maybe you need to refresh because there is some refresh button here. If it didn't update, there is a refresh button here.
My issue is just that I wasn't, when you put in the words, you have to click on whatever, like for the colors, you have to type it out and then click the button instead of just typing out purple 80.
Uh-huh.
So I think that's what was messing with it, because it was reading as a different purple 80, I guess.
This is purple 80 is coming from here. You see?
Oh, I don't even know if I have.
It is inside of theme color. It's not magic one. It's from here. Okay. Did you find what it is? Okay, I will come. It's complaining about border.
Before I was complaining about purple 80, and then I changed purple 80 to like I just typed it, retyped it, and it worked.
Oh, maybe you don't. Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Sometimes,
black as well.
yeah. Sometimes it's color from capital. This is the reason. This is capital. Sometimes it is importing stuff automatically. Sometimes it doesn't. Okay. Yes.
I tried to just close out of the running devices thing, and it won't do it. So what did you do to shrink that preview to just the element?
I did this thing. Okay. Okay, sometimes it's freaking. Okay. Then with some recent types function. No, it's not showing. File stuff anymore. Oh, maybe I need to run this one, so let's do it. Run. Stop and rerun. Okay. New files. Somehow, maybe you have the same issue as I have. It is kind of stuck in between. No. No. Where's the main activity? It is the main. It says it's running, creating preview. Stop it. Strange. I have a button to show this up. Let me. Just one moment. I have these buttons here. So I wonder what is different here.
Yeah. If you hover over that though, does it tell you what like shortcut I can press on the keyboard?
Okay, let's try.
Find it.
Code, split, design. Maybe it is in tools somewhere or in view. You do have this one, right? Yes, but you don't have this. It appears like this tool somehow is hidden on your settings. Let me open it on. Do you have Mac or Windows? Mac, so it should be the same. So
I went like this. I changed. Oh wait, did it come back? No. Yeah. So I went here and I switched to classic and then came back.
oh yeah,
And
it
when
came. It came. You
Oh,
saw.
did it? Yeah. See. Okay. So when I come back, it should be there. I'm just gonna switch back to the classic. I mean the new.
It's probably fluke somewhere. Right?
Wait. Did it go back to the new?
So it's a bug.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
apparently.
really buggy. I don't know why. Is it there now?
We saw it just for a moment.
It was there and then it disappeared. I just saw it from the bottom.
Yeah, I also saw it. Oh yeah, here it is.
Oh, it's back. There we go. Now it's there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a little.
All right. So resolved finally. So. All right. So let's continue. Yes.
So I just run out with the problem with the color. So I figured it out. But I have a question. Why is there two files for one in XML and one in color.kc?
So once again.
Why do we have two color files in the XML?
As this is I explained in the beginning. One it is applies to older view system and current one. It is XML. And the one that is this one, it applies only to new system.
Okay.
Yeah, it's because some applications use both. For example, it's older app and you want to port the code, people start adding new features using new UI.
What I read online is that this is actually, because before we had composable, we actually had to write the XML code, right?
We could drag and drop stuff.
Yeah.
Now we cannot.
Yeah, I actually tried it on the older, because there's different options there, and there was like one option, if I do file new project, like I believe it was this option, the drag and drop is there.
Yes, drag and drop it is for all the system, yeah. We could do it before. Okay, so restarting. Okay, So next, let's keep. Next step it is to make version control work, right? In this case, I remember when we created project using Kotlin, IntelliJ, it was checkbox, create version control system, right? In this case, there is no such thing, but you can do it with extra step. You go here, version control system, and you select enable version control integration. Here it is. Select Git, select OK. After this stuff shows in red. Red means Git doesn't know how to deal with it yet. It is essentially newly created files, and Git don't have it in own system. There is a file called git ignore that is listing things that's supposed to be ignored. And it is, if we go to project files, we will see it is here, git ignore. What is supposed to be ignored is already in this file. So it is OK to select everything when you commit. So when you go back to Android and click commit, it's OK to select everything. And when you do so, say first commit or initial commit. Okay. It was VCS.
Oh, no, not that part, my bad. How did you get to that page that you're on the left side? Like where you're committing? I forgot where it was.
We was here,
Oh, okay.
Android, and after this I click here. This is this button called commit. And I select everything. This will be message next to commit. And when I click commit, it will show, when I go to Git, here it will show initial commit. It did some code analysis and found some naughty things. In many things, if you go to code analysis, sometimes it makes sense, sometimes just ignore it. For example, here, Gradle wrapper property is something blah, 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 not perfect. Don't touch it if you don't understand it. So this is general rule. If we don't understand it, let's don't touch it, because we may break it. Okay. The same. In some cases, it makes sense. In some cases, if this warning doesn't tell you anything, do not touch it, because it's a stupid computer. It's not intelligence, like human intelligence. Sometimes it shows like red flag, but there's nothing wrong with it. Yes?
So when you ignore it the first time, if I go to commit one more time,
It will not come up again.
it will not come up.
No.
So then any other errors would be ones that I want to fix.
It will not pop up the same warning again. This is how it works. I don't know. I didn't. If you want to see this again, you run code analysis here. Code and analyze code. Or inspect code. And this will try to find everything again. In many cases, it does make sense. For example, you imported some package, but you stopped using it because you deleted the code. It will tell you import is unnecessary. So in some cases, if it makes sense to you, go for it. But in other cases, it is just some red flag that is inserted automatically because of, I don't know, this is some rule fired up, but this rule is not applicable. So do not follow what it says blindly, because in many cases it will just break the code. Just only follow a recommendation if you completely understand it. This is the rule. Okay? Initial commit. If you don't want to deal with this at all, click this show this part, remove this, you will never see it again. That's right? But this is for each project separately. It's not global settings. Do not analyze code before commit. So this is how to deal with commits. Next, I created package called domain. And let's put some file where calculation is done. And how should we call it? I will use the same logic. Oh no, let's put stuff here and create enumeration type for this. Remember, there is an enumeration type for, in the domain, I created service quality. Amazing, good, okay. If we want other, we will probably put comma and say other, right? It's old one. So in new one, we right click and say new Kotlin class and select enum. And this says service quality, for example.
But the other one is what? An Android, the domain one.
I created this domain by right click new package. A new package, and I type a domain, enter. And now let's go to this package and create service quality and maybe add other. So later we will deal with logic of giving different outside of the scale. Okay. New class. What is Kotlin class? Kotlin class file, and I go to enum and I type service quality. Service quality. Here it is. And Git is asking, do I need to add it to version control? And now it is in red because it doesn't know. When I say add, it will turn green. Green means it's new file, and Git knows that it should be in version control, but it's not committed yet. So let's do that. Amazing, good. Okay?
How did you get it to get enum right off the bat, or did you just type it in?
Which one?
It became enum right away, or did you add it?
It was enum class and name of the class, but this thing just appeared magically right now. I didn't do anything. This one. Good, fair, poor, it's some internal built-in intelligence. It's not even this one, you see? Now it disappeared. Some built-in intelligence of Android Studio, good, fair, poor. Somehow it realized that service quality could be good, fair. All right, so let's do this. Service quality. I wonder, can I bring it up somehow? No, it doesn't do it. Maybe, no. Oh, yeah. Good, fair, poor. It came up again. When I put tab, it keeps it. Tabs keeps a suggestion. But, OK. Before good, I would put amazing. Amazing, good. Okay. Okay. Bad. No, I don't want that bad. Okay. Okay. If it's bad, then no tip. It's obvious. Okay. Amazing, good. Okay. Other. Let's put other. I don't know how to deal with logic other. I hope you suggest something smart, and we will stick to it. Okay. All right, so next we need some place to do calculations. So here it is. I created function calculate tip and function to convert. If these numbers come with from settings, this would be fancier, right? So it's not that simple. And probably this function better to split into two parts. Because if we have other option, we need to have a calculation that is using any number with floating point, right? Because this function has an only option to pick one of these constants. So it's not flexible. We need two functions, right? And maybe other is not even choice. How should we deal with it? Okay, for now, let's get rid of other and keep thinking about it. Yes?
Is there a way to rename files or no?
Yeah, sure, you can. You right click on it and say refactor, rename.
It's up higher.
Yeah, refactor somewhere. Refactor rename, yeah. So for now, I deleted other, and we will keep thinking of it and come up with some idea. But this is definitely not perfect, right? Because if we want to implement other afterwards, we need a function that picks actual value, not selection from a null. So we will definitely need conversion, but for now we could keep it as constants, but later it will come from settings. Right? So this is separate. Okay. How should we call it? Calculate zip. So let's create file, calculate zip. A new Kotlin file, Kotlin class of file, calculate zip. Maybe later it will be class or something like this, but now something simple. Yes? Okay, calculate zip. Enter. Add, right? Next. Let's create a function that takes tip percent and service quality and returns tip value. This is what's supposed to be, right? So function calculate tip. Oh, why did I create class? I probably made class. Should I have a class or no? Does it make sense to have a class? Probably not. Later we may change it, but you can always delete the thing. Right? So function calculate tip, or starting with small letter because it's not compose function. It's regular function. Calculate tip. It should return double, so the return value double. Because tip is double, and no, return type is after name of function. Yeah, you are right. You are right. You're absolutely right. It is here, and it's here. You're right. Okay. Next, we need to give some parameters. It's trying to be smart. Okay. So bill before tip. Okay. Bill before tip. Then tip percent and round up. Makes sense, right? Tip percent and round up. So if bill before tip less than 0, obviously we need to throw exception. So this logic makes sense, right? So let's repeat the same logic. If bill before tip less than, we will also probably need to do the same for tip percent because it's. And if bill before tip less than 0.0, oops. No. It's trying to learn from my this code, right? It appears like it has some built-in learning, and it is learning my code from this. Okay. If bill before tip is less than 0, throw new throw illegal argument exception, and what did they do it? Negative bill value, right? negative bill value and percent dollar sign bill before tip. Okay. I would do the same for tip percent, but should I do it? Yeah, okay, let's do it. Technically, if we sure that it's never entered, there's no option to enter it. For example, if we enter it through scroll bar, we don't really have to. Okay, but we can do it. Okay, it's suggesting it. So I press tab. If 2% is less than 0, illegal argument exception, negative 2%, right? Negative 2%. Android Studio became so much like bound to artificial intelligence, and this is really new. It started in Apple this year. When Google launched artificial intelligence engine, and they integrated this to Android Studio. This one is like, when I was teaching this course in fall, it didn't exist. What you see, this is pop-up, never happened before. Okay. So tip, bill before tip percent, and if round up true, tip mass to ceiling. Why I have this parenthesis? I don't need this one, right? Round up tip, bill before tip times tip percent. Now question, should tip percent be in area of hundreds, like, or in just a fraction, 0.15? It doesn't really matter how we choose. What it suggests, it's a number like 18, which is fine with me, right? Round up tip and return tip. Return tip. Okay. Does it look right? Calculate tip, bill before tip, this, tip percent, default 15, round up tip true, these two checks, throw exception, var tip, bill before tip, tip percent divided by 100, round up tip, return tip. Okay. Next, we may create a function, something like this. Because when we enter service quality by drop-down, we need this function, right? So what does it do? It is using when as a switch, but when is actually can be assigned instead of return, or you can say return when. Right? So when can carry value, return value. This is what I'm using. If service quality, okay, 15, well, this is definitely wrong now, because I rescaled it. Now, tip percent, it is not 0.15, it is 15. And so definitely I cannot use this one. I have to change it to 15, 18, 20 instead of that, okay? So let's do that. In this case, it's private. Why not? Because it's used inside of the class. So let's do this. I have a private function, which is tip percentage, right? Or tip percent? Yeah, okay. Tip percent. Percent. What is better, percentage or percent? Percent. Okay. Percentage sounds so great. And it will receive service quality, right? Parameter service quality. Service quality, service quality, return double when service quality. So I don't know, it just gives me, and I press tab, it access. Reason is that I already have this in my Android Studio. I assume it is learning from this code I'm suggesting.
I have mine open as well, but it's not suggesting anything.
I don't know. Maybe I'm more lucky. There is also a login into my account at GitHub. I have a login. I log it into my account at Google. I assume that maybe it is storing some learned information there. Okay. So tip, right? So a tip percent parameter service quality, type service quality, return type double, right? It is in red because I didn't finish when, but okay, it's suggesting me. Okay, press tab. Okay. Yeah, it is extra closing bracket. This is why it's unhappy, and this is extra. This shouldn't be there. Also, let's find what else is issue. Tip percent service quality, service. Private fun, yes, private fun. No fun without fun. Okay. Private fun, and it figured it out. Now it is this, right? It's smart. Okay. It didn't pick this one. It knows. Okay. Now let's go to code and reformat code. Reformat code. Here it is. Okay. A tip percent service quality. And now next I need a function that is speaking service quality. Right? I will not, should I do check again? Probably not, because this will check and throw exception. Right? So maybe I shouldn't. Unless I will, if I make this private and make check outside, I can copy paste this too. It's another choice. If this is private. Yes?
If you pass, so 10% is a parameter of calculate type, right?
Yeah.
So if you pass that into the function 10%, then you would use that for other. Because service quality and other doesn't have a value.
Yeah. I need this to calculate other.
Sorry?
I need this to calculate other.
Yeah. So shouldn't it be included in the 10% function? For service quality, if other is selected?
Yeah, you're right. I don't really need another function. Because if I create another function, it cannot be used for other. So let's, and this should not be private, because if I will have other option, this should not be private. Issue is if I add other option, this function will not compile, actually.
Why not?
You will see. Okay. So if I go here and I add other, okay, other, I go here and it doesn't compile. So I have to be, yeah, I need to add other, and what it's supposed to return if it is other.
The 10% that was passed in the function.
So I will need to add a separate parameter just specifically for other. And it will be used only when sounds ugly. Looks ugly, honestly. Yes, it works, but let me think about it. I will remove this other for now. Okay. It will work, but what's the point of passing other? We need to do it smarter than that. Let's keep it without it, for now, and give it a thought. Okay. Okay. Keep it as it is. It's fine for this moment. Next, business logic is done. Okay. We need to start doing GUI probably, right? So let's start doing GUI. In this part, I organize it, split it into files. It doesn't have to be split into files, but it is just for code organization. I made file for this part, made file for this part, but of course I could split even further. Okay. So I create file for calculator outputs, and it is this file. I calculate the inputs, it is this file. And calculator body, it is entire piece, this one. Okay. So let's start with something simple, this piece. Okay. And how did I call it? I call it round tip input. So it is in inputs, calculator inputs, and this piece is called round tip inputs. Calculator inputs, round tip input. Okay. So now it's probably time to start organizing the code. So let's go to main activity and see what we have. This is kind of garbage now. We don't need this thing. We played with it, fine. We don't need it anymore. I want to create a function for entire screen that is taking everything on the screen. And it will be called here. So scaffold will go inside. Probably it's a good idea. Why it's probably a good idea? Because if we create the settings, it will be another screen. And this piece will take scaffold inside, and settings will have another scaffold with different title, same settings. Okay. So this will probably will be another function. So how should we call it? Yeah. In Google examples, they call it application or application screen or something like this. I typically call it app root screen. It's my naming of the function, so it's a composable function, so it doesn't matter how we call it. Root, it means everything on the seed, so everything else is a tree inside. So I want to create function that is wrapping scaffold. So right-click and refactor function, and I do app root screen. App root screen, and press enter. So it took function outside. So how did they do the magic? I highlighted the same, a refactor function, and it created a function separate. Okay. Next, this function became private function of main activity. This is not what I want. I want to push it into separate file, right? So definitely it shouldn't be private, because it will go to another file. Next, this greeting is kind of garbage. It doesn't have to have greeting in it, right? So I will delete this greeting here, but I will keep scaffold. Issue is that if I delete this stupid greeting, it will give me warning about inner padding, because this inner padding supposed to be used somewhere, otherwise it gives you warning. I will talk about what is inner padding. In this case, inner padding is not used at all. It is just passed to this. Inner padding, it is extra gap to the content of scaffold, because scaffold can have a bar on the top, bar on the left, bar on the left, okay, floating button, and if system realizes that it needs to add extra padding to what is inside to avoid overlap with some bar, top or the bottom, it will be this padding. So this is the meaning of this padding. To avoid overlaps between bars of scaffold. This is why scaffold is giving this padding to what is inside. So you will use it around yourself. Okay. So this is the meaning of it. So if you delete this thing, it will tell you padding, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Hopefully it will not be too annoying. And I will delete this thing because it's not useful anymore. Okay. So next, I will right-click on it and go refactor. And maybe now it is function to scope because I want to push it into another file. Where? Cannot perform what? Okay, just copy paste. Good point. Just copy paste. Okay, right click on it and say refactor function to scope. Cannot perform refactoring without an expression. No. Maybe it's not function to scope. Let's find another refactor. A refactor. I tried to push it into separate file. Maybe I need to do this. Okay. A refactor function to scope. It still doesn't do it. Refactor.
You can extract it.
I don't think that it is extracting to separate files. It is definitely refactoring.
I pressed extract and then it told me to select target file.
Yeah. Where do you find it?
So you go to refactor
Yeah?
and then go to extract interface.
It's not interface. No, it's totally different. Okay. So let's ignore it. If it doesn't work, okay, fine. It's definitely UI, so let's create package. We cannot put it into theme, so let's create new package and create calculator package because this is screen for calculator. So I'm going with package. I will delete theme here and to write calculator. Okay. It's still annoying that I cannot do it. Maybe it is because this thing is with error. Okay, whatever. In calculator, I will create app root screen file. A new file, a Kotlin class file. Select file, app root screen. App root screen, enter. Add, and I want this thing cut, go here. While main activity. It is in red because I need to import it. Because now it is in different file. Import function app root screen. Next, you see this stuff is not necessary anymore, so I delete this part. In purple 80 as well, right? Now I will leave this file alone and keep working outside, because now I have app root screen function here in calculator. Next. Fault. Let's create a column, and in the column we will organize things, because this looks like a column. You see, this on top of that, so it's a column. Okay, and so let's create column. A column is a function, composable function. Column. Right? And pass this padding to modifier of column. So we will do modifier, modifier. It is modifier. I will stretch it, so it is set max, fill max size, and after this, after filling max size, I will add padding. All right. So it's from outside to inside. So after this, I will add padding, inner padding, and option enter, padding. Now it is happy. So this is the column of the stuff I will keep adding. There's no title bar yet. Okay. So let's create preview. Alt and option enter. Import class preview, app root screen. This import function, this. Yep. As this file?
No, the package, the UI package.
UI existed because it was UI theme in it.
So do I get rid of my UI theme stuff?
It was here. Don't touch it because you need it.
Mine is all in one product.
I have no idea. So let me look.
It's just compressed.
When you create package, you need to delete links of it.
It's one file, but then it would just put it together. So just create another package here.
And then I just add the package that I need to add.
Yeah, okay. So I create this preview, so whatever I will add here in the column will appear here. All right? Okay, so let's deal with the switch now. It seems it's the simplest. So what do I have? Switch, check it, and something. So switch has two parameters. First parameter, it is state of it, and second, what happens on change, some function, some lambda function call. So I will insert switch here. Switch. Check it, true, for example, and on change, nothing happens. Okay. Okay. This means lambda function will be, that will be called when it is checked. Okay. All right. So let's see preview. Build and refresh, because it's not built. Yeah, just this. And it is stretched to entire screen because I do app screen, and app screen has fill max size. This is why it is stretched. Okay? So I got the box. The switch. But if I try to click on it, nothing happens. First of all, it's preview, so it doesn't do it anyway. You can make it active, so it is, there is a way to create preview that is actually reacting it. But it will not work anyway, believe me. If you run not greeting preview, but you run up, you see run, you will still see a switch box, but when you click on it, nothing happens. Why? Because it's always checked. This is why nothing happens. Okay? You click on it, and it's always checked because it's assigned hardwired. Okay? Yes? Preview. I click at this piece. But this is not preview. This is app is running. So I selected app, and I click it run. So I have two different things. This is just preview. This is entire app. When entire app is running, I cannot switch this thing because it is hardwired to true. I typed it. I started typing it, and it generated me something on its own. And when it started to generate, I press a tab. When I press a tab, it's kind of solidified on the screen. And I had to edit it.
How do you think anything will work if we go to more anything?
Okay. All right. And now we need some variable that is changeable based on this true. I remember what we learned in the beginning. Yes.
What does show background mean?
It is background of the preview itself. It doesn't really matter. You deleted it. Maybe it is for optimization. I don't know. Okay? And now, a switch does not have a state variable in it. So this is the reason why you click on it, it's not changing, because this is always fixed true. Okay? Unlike in objects, when objects like switch or object checkbox has a variable hidden inside, which is true or false, this switch does not have such variable. For this reason, it's not switchable. We need to create state variable outside. That will be switchable. Okay. So we create var because it's yes.
When we make the column, we have to use composable. You guys just type column because mine doesn't work.
Yeah, my column's not really working.
Yeah, so you use composable, right? That's how you did that.
What do you mean it's not working? It is a column that contains only one item. This is why it's not a column. If you put some text on top of it, it will be a column. Like, you see hello on top. It doesn't look like a column because it has only one. If you add something, it will be visible as a column. Oh, this is what you asked?
The modifier needs to be imported, but like it can't. Like here, that's like a variable, but it doesn't exist.
No, this is in the wrong place. You need to do this parentheses. You see what I have?
In scaffolding?
No, it is this modifier goes into parentheses of the column.
It is here.
No, it's the wrong place. This is parentheses like this, and this is curly brace and curly brace. So this is modifying column, but this is content of the column. Okay? So modifier is the first parameter of the function, and content of the column is the second parameter of the function. Okay? So if I run it again, you'll see this hello here, right? So I need some function, some variable that will be linked to this part. Where I put it, now I will put it hardwire here. Okay? So state. Okay, let's do that. Let's use state variable type state. Okay. So I create val and switch value maybe, or tip. How should I call it? Round tip true false. It will be right. Round tip state. Round tip state. So it will be state variable. Remember mutable state of, and initial value it is true. Okay. We need to import remember, option enter. Import this, option enter. Okay. Why it is val? Because this variable will not change. This is state and it is container. What will change? It is content of this container. Let me explain. This is round tip state dot value. So what will change is the value. This is why this variable doesn't change. Okay? It is container that will contain the value. Okay? This is the reason why it's val. And what should happen when we click on it? It will execute this function, right? So it will need to pick this state and change it to opposite one, right? So no, this. This is new state, assign it to the value. Hopefully it will work. Yes? Oh, okay. Let me, question is why it's remembering. Okay, how it works. This is special variable. Type is state of Boolean. This is type state Boolean. The state of compose runtime. Am I right? Just one moment. Value. No, it's not the one. It is type is mutable state. Sorry. It is mutable state, not state. Mutable state. How it behaves? When we change content of the container, it triggers this function. Okay, run again. And when these functions run again, it's updating the screen by executing the content. So when it's reaching this point, it will pick new value. Okay. But when this is retriggered, current value should be remembered, because by default, all variables in the function will be lost when you call the function again. So this is the meaning of remember. Okay. Again, this is special type of variable. Yes?
Should you be defining it
Is this local inside of the function? I could put it here. It will work exactly the same if I move it upstairs.
But is there any reason to put it as a global variable, or should I always make it a local variable?
In this part, it is stored in view model. So it is so global, it is stored in different class. Okay, sometimes there are reasons. For example, you define function for this part, define function for this part. Definitely, in order to calculate output, you need both. So somehow you need to store it somewhere upstairs, so it is available at the same time.
What, like, I'm saying, like, if you do like a private global variable, is there an indicator?
Okay, if this function is hidden inside, another function cannot see it. But definitely, in order to calculate value, you need to reach it somehow. It cannot be that local. Because if it is hidden in given function, I cannot use it in calculation. Okay? So scope must be reasonable. And this is the answer. Yes? Oh, it. This is lambda function, and it is default value of a default parameter of lambda function. So I could say this: a new value, and call it this new value. Okay. If you use it is shortcut for that. Okay. So let's see if it's working. Okay, I need to restart. See, it's working. Okay. So it is a shortcut for the parameter of lambda function. All right. Next, this is definitely, and again, what is the mechanic? Mutable state is, or state, mutable, you can change this value. If it is state, you cannot. Just because mutable state is inheriting from state, state is useful. So you can refer to mutable state as state. So you can use it as like give it access to on as needed basis. Okay. So we need to wrap it up. So we didn't go very far. But anyway, so we will continue, maybe in bigger steps next time. But I think we did a lot in terms of explanation, right? So this is state variable, and state variable is a special type that is triggers update the screen. So when we change content, it triggers update of the screen by running the functions again. And just because value of this variable should not be lost when the function is called again, it has to be remembered. Yes?
So I don't really understand, like, the lambda function bit. Are we supposed to, like, know this off the top of our head?
Now, lambda function, it's a function defined in place. It may have a parameters, in this case, one parameter. And supposed to be matching type. In this case, lambda function, and this is Boolean, so it has to be right type.
I don't understand the arrow bit. So
Okay.
what is
This is parameter of lambda function. This is a body. If you need,
new value is the parameter of the lambda function?
yeah. If you don't want to declare this parameter separately, you use it in front instead of it. Okay. This thing can be moved to, for example, here, because it still will trigger update of the screen. Okay. Because it is inside of compose function. Okay. All right. So questions? No? Yes, it's kind of, yeah, it's a lot of information, right? Yeah. So I will stop recording. I will post this one as video linked to Slate. Okay? It will be 2 videos, before break, after break.